Hello and welcome to Hard Copy, reaching you from Channels Television Studios here in Lagos. I am Bukola Samuel Wemimo. It's an evening of frank conversations on the program. The 2023 general elections are critical for many reasons. Many Nigerians seek an enduring solution to the problem of insecurity ravaging much of the northern part of the country. Many more are on their way out in search of greener pastures, while those left behind wonder who will build the country of our dreams and secure the future for the younger generation. On the other hand, the older generation is convinced that Nigeria cannot be salvaged without constitutional reforms. My guest today is an advocate of reforms who envisions a new Nigeria. Will he get a chance at the 2023 presidential elections? Thank you for joining us. My guest today wears many hats. He's a pharmacist, a businessman turned politician, former president, Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, former chairman, Nigeria Economic Summit Group, NESG. He's also a columnist and an activist. Let's welcome to Hard Copy, Mr. Sam Ohuabunwa. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here. Yes,
indeed. It's a pleasure to have you. So many would say that really you are greenhorn as far as politics is concerned. They're more familiar with your activism in the private sector and your contributions to the development of the economy, especially having never really held public office in the lower capacity, say at the state or local government level. Hence, you should try your hands on that rather than where you've thrown your hat into, which is the presidential race. How would you respond to the result of such scrutiny?
Well, I think that it's not the full story. It's just part of the story. The story is that I'm not completely a greenhorn. I've been involved in political activities for many years. I've served at different levels in my state. I've been a member of the Elders Council of the PDP. I have also participated in several gubernatorial campaign teams. I've served on the boards of teaching hospitals, educational institutions, both in the federal and the state. I've been member of Presidential Advisory Committee. I've been in the Political Reform Conference. I've been involved in supporting the political system. But you know, in a team, even if it's a football team, maybe the 11 people you see are not all the people play the game or involved in the team. Yes, this is the first time I'm coming out for an elective position. But in terms of appointments in the political area, I have been there since 1999. I became chairman of a board.
And you're convinced that that is enough experience?
Absolutely. Haven't worked
for you to take on an office as expansive and demanding as the office of the president?
Yes, the issue is that what is required to run a country's leadership. I have been chairman of a multinational organization called Pfizer. I have led the Nigeria Economic Summit Group, the Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, Ikeja, the Nigerian Employers Consultative Association. You hone your leadership.
That's a corporation of maybe 500 at most 1,000 people. We're talking about a country of 200 million people.
Yeah, membership is across the nation. What you're speaking about is the complexity of an organization. I've been involved in managing complex organizations, but what you need to know is that what is called for is leadership.
What vision, what direction are you bringing to the table if you're elected president of Nigeria?
One of the things that have afflicted our country is the inability to design a vision that will unite the country in direct one purpose. Efforts have been made, but they've never caught on well. I'm coming with a vision to say Nigeria has stagnated for so many years in the classification of less developed nation, underdeveloped nation, developing nation, and will never become developed. I want to move us from that status to a fully developed nation so that we can compare with those who are in the same classification with us. So our vision is to move Nigeria from a third world to a first world, to become globally competitive. So that's our vision, primary vision. Secondary vision is to create a country that works for all, a country where you have true unity of purpose, a people united by common vision, by common values, and common aspirations, where every citizen of the country will feel that he's treated fairly. Today, this country is not working for majority of people. It's working for a few. Others are now taking it against the nation out of anger, out of feeling of injustice, inequity. I want to harmonize that and create a country where love reigns, where there's care for each other, maligned.
That's really ambitious.
Yeah.
Sounds like utopia. How are you going to harness the many diversities in the country?
The diversities in the country have similar needs. They have similar needs. If you go to the north, from Zamfara to Bayelsa, everywhere, if you talk to the folks, what do they want? They want food on their table. They want to be able to take their children to school. They want to have basic health care. They want to have water to drink from the tap. They want electricity. That's all they want. So whether you are from the north or south, Ibira, Calabar, Hausa, Igbo, they want the same thing. They are looking for somebody who will understand that and provide it for them. All the other divisions, diversities don't add up. In fact, they help us to create some bit of color. In fact, I have told people that after I become president, this clamor of let it be my person, let it be my country person, let it be my town person, let my village person, would die. Because I'm going to treat every Nigerian as if he was my brother.
You're running on the platform of the People's Democratic Party.
By the grace of God.
But before that time, Mr. Ohuabunwa, you were championing the New Nigeria Group.
Yeah.
And what happened to that group? Because according to you, the New Nigeria Group was designed to get Nigerians to buy into this vision that you're articulating, where you'll have content citizens living happily. Yeah. So I've captured that accurately. So what happened to the New Nigeria Group?
The New Nigeria Group is a movement. It's a political movement. It's still ongoing. It's a movement that will go beyond this circle of elections. It's a movement. Until we arrive at that New Nigeria, that movement doesn't stop. However, it's not a political party. To be able to get power and implement those ideals in that new division, the mission, the corporate values, we need a political platform. So that political platform we have chosen for now is PDP. So the NNG members...
But movements turn into political parties.
No, the movement doesn't...
Why couldn't you sail with the New Nigeria Group?
How?
Some would say you've become tainted.
You know, you want
by joining...
No, but how would... Do you know how...
The crop of politicians.
Nobody's registering parties in Nigeria. When did they register a new political party last? They had about 100 or so. They've sacked, only 18 are left, and they are not registering a new party. And then if you register a new party, it will take 3-4 years to build it into a political party of significance to compete for the office of the president. So it is political reality that you don't go and do what you know. You've seen a lot of people come around with joining these small parties and just have social media presence, make a pitch. It doesn't come out to nothing. Anything. If you want to run for office as president in the country, like in every climate, you need to pass on the platform of the critical leading parties. It doesn't taint you. Let me tell you what taints you. What taints you is who you are and what you're bringing to position. In our vision, we're saying we're going to bat a new Nigeria that is globally competitive, first world nation that will work for everybody and create contentment. That's our contract. If you give us a platform, we use that platform to arrive and deliver what Nigerians are looking for. Nigerians are looking for prosperity. They are looking for justice. They are looking for security. It doesn't even care if the name of the party is X or Y. However, the party becomes important to be able to deliver you. The structure of covering this whole country to every polling booth, to every word, and to get your message across. It's not an easy thing. It's not what a little small party can do. The logistics is humongous. So that's why of the two major parties in Nigeria, I have been associated with PDP from 1999, and therefore it becomes a natural opportunity for me.
What are your views on restructuring and, the constitution of the country?
Again,
would you be able to actualize this vision on Nigeria, for Nigeria as it is presently constituted, put differently?
For me, there's no perfect structure. There's no perfect composition. Every system improves. Every structure has to go through some reviews. Even the law of entropy can cause dissonance in any structure. no matter how perfect it is. And the human nature is to improve your situation. So what we're saying is that the current Nigerian structure seems to inhibit our ability to optimize the opportunities available to the people of Nigeria at the subnational levels. Everybody is forced to look onto one person, the President of the Federal Republic. The local governments are doing nothing. Our state governments are neither here nor there. And the federal government tries to do one, primary health. It comes to do tertiary health. It tries to do primary education. There's confusion. We should rearrange this in a manner that would deliver what we need. Deliver primary health care. If it is to be funded by local government, fund the local government properly. Make sure that the revenue allocation is enough for them to do that. If federal government has to do tertiary education or tertiary health care, that is what they are funded for. Not funding the federal government to run tertiary, run secondary, run primary. In the process, there's confusion, and everybody is struggling to go to that level. Secondly, the states have become generally lazy, in quotes, because everybody's just waiting for the month to end, and they go to Abuja and share oil money. If we restructure the Nigeria to give the...
So would a President Ohuabunwa hit the ground running with constitutional reforms?
That is the first...
Or would you actualize your vision on this current structure? And how would you be able to achieve any change under the current revenue allocation system and other related issues?
Nothing is cast on stone. If you check the country, whether it is this constitution or the constitution before, things have been changed, the laws have been made. The critical thing is to determine where you're going to. Then sell the vision to the constituent groups that constitute either the leadership or the country. And then tell them this is where you want to go, and let them buy into it. When they buy into it, everything becomes possible. There's nothing the president wants to do he has not done. What we need is commonality of vision between the leaders and the led. You know, the thing that's lacking in our country mostly now is that the leaders are running without the led. They don't listen to those who they are leading. If you take security that we have issues for, security will have been solved if we could listen to the led, the people that live in the community, the owners of the nation. If they will come, if you have the humility to bring them together and say, what's wrong with our security? How did we get here? How come we have become a nation of bandits and armed robbers and kidnappers? The owners of the country will tell you where the trouble is and how to solve it. But we have failed to talk to them. We're sitting there in one place and pontificating and giving orders to people that people are not carrying. We don't even know whether they're carrying the orders or not. Our problem is with communication, relating with our people and getting the problem solved.
So are you saying that you will be able to sell your vision?
It's the primary thing.
To the National Assembly and State Assembly? I
have told you, whether it was here that I just said, that I've been to the country, the north, the south. I've been to the 6 states of Nigeria. I'm the only presidential candidate with due humility who has gone to every state. Others send people, but I have gone personally on all states. I've stepped down on the floor. I've spoken to the people. Each time I went, I held focal meetings. I will talk to the political group. I'll talk to the talakawas. I'll talk to the professionals.
And you've earned their trust? Not
only earning their trust, you get their views, my sister. You can't, they say you can't give a man injection where it's not, what is not the issue. You can't give him the medicine that is not. You first need to know what his problem is. The people that want to govern this country do not use the roads we use. Their children do not go to the same schools our children go. Their wives do not go to the same market. How would they know what is our problem? There's an alienation, a complete separation from people who want to govern and the people they are governing. That's the principal problem with the country. It's an elitist thing. And so I'm going to change it. I'm going to devolve power to the owners of the country. I'm going to create the office of the citizen. The office of the citizen will be higher than the office of the president, because the citizen is the one who hires the president, who hires every other political actor. But in Nigeria, the citizen is only heard of during election. We'll go and bribe him to elect us. After elects us, he becomes dead. He calls us, we don't answer. He shouts, we say he's making noise. He writes us later, nobody reply. The citizen has no voice. Nigerians, I have to take the power back to them. This country is theirs.
Let's move to an area that happens to be your forte, which is the economy. Unbridled consumerism is one of the problems, identified with Nigeria. Nigeria happens to be the 6th largest importer of wheat for the manufacture of bread. That's as at 2019, if my figures have not failed me. Now, how would you approach this if you were elected president?
For me, the best thing is, I'm talking about global competitiveness. What does global competitiveness mean? It means there are certain things you can do better than the others. Please focus on doing those things you can do and exchange them for those you cannot do. So we're going to make agriculture a major opportunity for our country, a major opportunity. And that agriculture will be in two phases. There's going to be mechanized agriculture that will take care of the large expanse of land we have. So we'll produce the commodity and export. As we are doing the agricultural expansion, commercialization, we are building processing plants next door. If we want to do mining, what we're going to do is get a proper mining company. He comes to Zamfara or to Abia State, and we form a combine that will involve the mining company, the federal government, the Abia State government, the local government, and the community. We set up a business combine, define the role for each person and their own contribution, and then start the work. They will mine, they will refine, they will export. The money comes transparently. The villager, the community sees how much is coming, the local government sees how much is coming, and when it comes, everybody gets his share. Nobody will kill the other.
All of these ideas are, laudable.
Yes.
How are you going to generate the required revenue to pursue all of this?
Madam, the government has no business with generating revenue to do business. Government's business is to promote the private sector to do business and then get tax income. When I spoke about solid minerals now, I said I'm going to get a mining company. The federal government, the state governments are going to play ancillary roles because they have the mining rights. They are the owners of the mine, of the mineral. You give a mining right to the company to mine, but you share the revenue that comes from it. So will it be done for solid minerals? So will it be done for liquid minerals? So will it be done for gaseous? Every mineral in this country should be mined in this format where the federal government, the state government, and the local government and the community are in cohort. The moment they are working together, nobody will fight the other because you can't destroy what is yours or what you're seeing a benefit. It's when you think it's their own. It's not my own. I am an outsider. I am discriminated against. Nobody knows me. That's when I'm going to break the pipe.
You have rightly said that the business of government is to create an enabling environment for the private sector to thrive.
Yes.
And you also cited, a particular location in Nigeria where insecurity is the problem. One of many. So how are you going to give the private sector that sense of, there's stability here, there is a promise of huge returns here? So that brings us to security.
Yeah, in fact, that is the primary job of government. Any government that cannot provide security of lives and property, any government should look for another name to answer. They have stopped being a proper government. The reason why they first agreed that people should get together and give power to the sovereign, who can control the forces of violence and maintain law and order, is because of that. Because if each of us want to maintain the law, we might go out of. So we surrender to a sovereign. If that sovereign now leaves us to be destroyed by another sovereign or non-sovereign, non-state actor, that sovereign has failed us. The first thing I'm going to do, two things simultaneously. I'm going to get all the army leaders, all the security leaders there with all the security eggheads, DSS, SSS, police, army, Boy Scouts, Loma, all those with our security, civil defense, we will have come out with some agreements.
Mr. Ohuabunwa, you're saying you will do the same thing that this current administration has done times without number.
I'm just finishing. That is what I'm not sure they have done this.
Visible
They have not
results.
done this. I've not done this. That is one thing. Who has talked? Which?
A meeting was held just days ago.
With who?
With the security chief.
Which security chief? How many people? When you bring head of army, head of police, that is not security. They don't know what is going on. These are people the president said go and deploy in Benue. They didn't go. They are running for their life. This is not the security apparatus. If you remember, I called Boy Scout, I called Civil Defense, I called Loma. So didn't that show that I'm going to drill down? Number two, I'm going to call the community of the areas and other areas of the country. Let's sit down together. What happened to our country? Armed robber not be not be spirit in a person. The bandit, the terrorist, the kidnapper, they have brothers, they have sisters, they have community. The people in the community know what is the issue. If you keep their confidence, they'll give you the information that you need.
You make it look so simple, Mr.
But try me.
We make it look very simple.
Try me.
I'd like to return to the economy, but I want us to manage our time and go to yet another area that happens to be within your area of specialization. Let's look at the health sector. In the country as it is now, there are 80,000 doctors registered with the Medical Association. That's as at June 2021. Only 35,000 are currently practicing in Nigeria. A certain number is said to be in the United States and another in the United Kingdom. But let's stay with Nigeria. That means 35,000 doctors are, catering to the health needs of nearly 200 million people. As a president, how would you approach the problems of the health sector? What would you do differently?
Today, the major problem with our health system is lack of funding. The health system does not have enough cash flow to attract competent manpower, to attract competent and modern equipment, laboratories, and other scientific labs and medicines. So what we're going to do is try and find out how to make the cash flow in the health sector attract people. Money attracts. NMA is constantly on strike. By the time they come back, Johesu goes. Why? Because they are not well funded, both in terms of welfare. The equipment is not there. The conditions are not there. So the only way to solve it is not for government trying to solve it, provide the money. Government does not have that kind of money. What you need to do is to introduce a universal insurance. A universal insurance that ensures that all those who are working have insurance. Those who are not working, government assists them to have insurance. So that people pay money to a bank, to a contributory fund. What I'm saying is that government should structure the health system in a manner that the cash flow, the funding becomes from the private sector, the public sector, the non-government sector, the multilateral agencies, put money in the health sector. That way, money will be available that will attract competent healthcare professionals. Those at home will not leave. It's not just government putting 15%. They can put 15%, but you not touch. It's not scratch the wall. We must make it attractive for the private sector, the non-governmental, multilateral, and the money will flow as it's flowing in the United States. Healthcare is one of the biggest businesses in the developed world because there is fungibility.
I'd like us to also touch on another more very interesting aspect of your aspiration, which is your chances of getting the PDP presidential ticket, especially against the backdrop of the advocacy for consensus, candidacy, and the clamor for zoning. Where are you in all of this?
Well, for me, I have a proper motivation to run for office of the President of the Federal Republic. I didn't wait to be persuaded or cajoled or pushed. For me, consensus is something we can talk about. But what is important is that Nigeria has run on this zoning thing for inclusiveness, to make every section of the country feel part of the nation. Because if you said, let the majority, a lot of minorities will never touch power. And forever, they'll be unhappy. So a country in our own level of development, we should let the, and it has served us well. I think we should continue with that. When you zone, let's say if you zone to the southeast, and there are 5, 6, 7, 10 people in the party, they can get together and decide whether they should do a consensus. But you can't be use consensus to replace zoning. APC did an election recently.
So would it be safe to say that you are in support of the PDP's tradition to zone?
Yes, I believe so. That is the party's constitutional provision that they will zone offices. It's there in the constitution.
Is it just because it's the party's tradition or because it could just favor you because you're from the southeast?
Well, I didn't enter this game because I'm from the southeast. But if it's zoned for the southeast, it makes it easier. I believe in democracy. I don't believe in imposition. If I lose in a free and fair game, What is important is that I have shown up, that I can do it, and God is the one who gives power at the end of the day. So I don't want people to force their will on other people, calling it consensus. Consensus should come naturally, but when you are forcing it and going around and use it to subvert rotation, then something sinister can be suspected.
Mr. Sam Ohuabunwa, thank you for coming on Hard Copy.
Thank you for having me.
Can Nigeria proceed with the 2023 presidential elections without constitutional reforms? And which of the aspirants can wield enough influence or political will needed to initiate and ultimately implement reforms needed to restructure Nigeria? Your answers are welcome on the handles now showing on your screen. Thank you for watching Hard Copy. I am Bukola Samuel Wenimo.